smallest state in the area, this is big as it gets. Ed Cooley has led Providence to 4 straight NCAA tournaments. First time that's happened in school history. He has never lost to Rhode Island. Let's meet the starting lineups, and beyond Cartwright and Bullock, Bob, some great length. Lindsey, Diallo, and Young, all matchup nightmares in their own right here for the Friars.
Jeff Doughton has 27 assists and only 6 turnovers on the year. Conspicuously absent from Rhode Island Rams lineup, E.C. Matthews, first team preseason all-conference in the Atlantic 10. He's got a wrist injury.
Dan Hurley feels this is as deep and seasoned and experienced a team as he has had. Last year, the Rams made the big dance for the first time since 1999. And yes, the students have been camped out for a long time today, getting ready for this one tonight.
Not only did they make the tournament, they beat Creighton in the first round, and they lost a tight one to Oregon in the second round.
Jared Terrell, game winner late against Seton Hall, averaging 19 a game. Meeting number 128 between these two rivals, and away we go. Not an empty seat here at the Ryan Center. It's a fire marshal type game, and that's a big start for Bullock down the lane.
Wow, nobody paying attention on defense right there.
Last year led the Friars in scoring and rebounding. Rams coming in 4-2. Friars winners of 5 straight, 6-1. To the big fella, and Barry ties it up early.
Nice answer. Good patience by Dan Hurley's team. Watch number 24, Kyron Cartwright. He is a dynamic point guard. Only 5'11", but strong and smart.
Bullock set a huge screen in the backcourt. Shot in and out. And here come the Rams off the miss. Terrell wants it for 3.
Both of these teams add excellent outside shooting. Providence shoots 47% from 3. Rhode Island shoots 43% from 3. I know that's a small sample size, but 7 games and 6 games into the season, that's pretty good.
Bob, the Friars were 9 of 10 at Madison Square Garden from 3 against St. Louis in the 2K Classic.
That's good because they play the Big East tournament there.
Off the block, here comes Terrell. Step through, almost. He'll go to the line for 2 here in the first 2 minutes of the game.
Check out the defense by the Friars. They are into it right here. Set the screen, and Bullock, because the man goes down at the other end. Right here, Terrell taking it hard to the basket. Terrell is 6'3", 215, shoots 81% from the foul line.
Bob, it's worth noting, Danny Hurley's team fouls a lot more than they go to the line. Far more attempts so far for their opponents.
Yeah, 151 attempts for their opponents, only 97. And that's because Rhode Island is such an aggressive defensive team. And you're going to see aggression in this one from both sides.
Last foul, the first of the game, taken by Cartwright for Providence.
Garrett trying to control Cartwright. Not an easy job.
Lindsey looking inside. Bullock had the step against Robinson. Tap up and in by Khalif Young. Big body, 6'9", 255.
They've got 2 centers, he and Nate Watson, same body types. Ed Cooley says if they can get 18 points and 8 or 9 rebounds, we're going to win.
Feels really good about those 2. 2 minutes in, 4-3 Providence. 10 to shoot for the Rams.
Garrett, 7th leading assist guy in the history of the school, right here.
Almost knocked away. Terrell fires. Long bounce. And it's going back to the Friars. With these 2 teams, the way they shoot the 3, long rebounds worth watching in this one tonight.
Excitement so far, adrenaline flowing both sides. When that happens earlier in the game, usually the execution's not good to start.
As we said at the top, Providence winners of 7 straight meetings with Rhode Island. Danny Hurley's never beaten the Friars. Bullock, nice move in the lane.
He can score, man. He's a shooter and a post-up guy also.
4 points for Rodney Bullock here in the early going.
Both teams are hedging the high screens so far.
Almost a foul there on Young.
Notice
Cartwright.
how Bullock threw the ball backwards to Cartwright. They know who's in charge.
Diallo drives and gets it to go.
Love him. Only a sophomore, 6'7".
Down the other way, almost high off the window. I like the energy and the pace so far in this one.
You gotta love it. Jeff Doughton is a long, lean point guard. As I mentioned, 27 assists, only 6 turnovers on the year. Doughton is an important player for this team. Keeps everybody under control, only a sophomore, 6'3". Last year, he got sick during part of the season and lost 18 pounds, and then came back and played well near the end.
He's now 8 of 13 from the line so far this season.
58%'s not good. Let's watch his free throw. He starts the ball on the left-hand side, brings it to the right, which is not good technique. However, if you do something 10,000 times, you might get good at it. Watch how he brings this ball to his left side, then brings it over his head to the right. That is not classic by any stretch.
Free advice is worth what it costs. Well done.
Danny Hurley was a very good free throw shooter when he was at Seton Hall.
Played for his dad, Bob Hurley Sr. at St. Anthony's in New Jersey. Cartwright can't get it to go. Barry snatches the rebound.
Garrett did a great job staying in front of Cartwright there. Lost his shoe, he did such a good job. Here he's in the picture now. Patience is a virtue.
Let's see if the Rams have it. Nine to shoot for Rhode Island. Down lob, knocked away by Young. Robinson saved the possession. Only 4 to shoot. Barry short, and Young's there for the board. And a foul in the front court. And it's on Rhode Island. And you know how they feel. It's on Stanford Robinson.
Robinson's a very good defensive player for Hurley. He's got 19 steals on the year, by far the most on their team. Transfer from Indiana University. Having a good career here.
So he picks up his first. This is a big matchup. Diallo against Terrell. More so when Terrell has the ball. Lindsay lost it, knocked away. Robinson, who else? Trying to capitalize. Oh, a foul. And it's on Bullock in front of the student section.
Steal number 20 for Mr. Robinson. Sticks his hand in. Watch this long length. Beautiful play by Stanford. Goes to the basket, gets whacked. 8-5.
They are known as the Rhodey Ruckus. Cheering on the Rams in the student section here against Providence tonight. Let's check our DiGiorno keys to the game, Bob.
Three-point accuracy, Bullock and Cartwright are 48. Lindsay is 60. They've got to own the paint. They have an advantage size-wise. Big game by Terrell is important for Rhode Island, and a team effort on the boards. All 5 guys must rebound the defensive glass.
You mentioned Providence in the paint. So far, they're 4 of 8. All 8 of their points have come inside the lane. Jared Terrell, the senior from Massachusetts. Ed Cooley said they were trying to get him for 3 years while he was in high school, but he chose Rhode Island instead. And boy, is he putting it together in his final season.
He's had a great career. He's been a double-figure scorer ever since he was a freshman. And remember, they had Hassan Martin in the past and Iverson. They had very good inside play. This year, not as strong. That's not a strength of this team. The perimeter is their strength. And that guy right there is the chief architect of this particular team. When E.C. Matthews comes back and he and Terrell can play at the same time, they will be formidable. And I'm told that Matthews should be back within a week, maybe 2 more games out.
So I'm working the wrist out during shoot-around today. Low to the ground. Guy who missed nearly a full season 2 seasons ago, injured 9 minutes into the year.
It's a first game, yeah, that was a shame. Tore his ACL.
Crowd wanted steps on Ashton Langford. Instead, it's Bullock who converts.
Bullock is smooth, isn't he? I mean, he's out there, and he can have 18 points in a game, and you don't even realize that he's out there.
He has 6 right now, consistent touch. 10-7 Providence. Almost 5 gone by in Kingston.
Ashton Langford in the game right now for Providence at the point guard. That's he with the ball. Only a freshman.
The spin. Crowd wanted steps. Instead, it's Ashton Langford on a reset. And the Rams look to push, but wait. Technical foul here on Danny Hurley.
That's David Cox, the assistant, standing in front of Danny so he doesn't do anything more to aggravate the situation. He thought that Ashton Langford had the turnover.
Teed up by Michael Roberts. And Bullock with one more from the line.
He's fiery. Sometimes this can help your team. Let's take a look at what happened. Right there, the tee up. And he does not like that a bit.
Bob, you know, it sometimes takes one choice word. And he had their ear. Danny Hurley's sideline temperament has improved in recent years, but coming from a coaching family, his brother Bobby at Arizona State, Bob Sr., Hall of Famer at St. Anthony's, there is an intensity you just can't describe, only they know about.
Well, the good thing about a play like this is it's early in the game, so it's not affecting the outcome of the game much. The other thing for them is that the Rhode Island players know that he is on their side, and they respect that. So I don't think it's a negative at all in his coaching.
Nice spin, Ashton Langford, a kick out. Diallo, rainmaker. And the rebound taken down by Cyril Langevin. He's going to be key. Second game back from injury.
The reason he's key is that he's a big man and they need him in the paint.
Langevin missed a few games with a sports hernia injury. Young the other way, steps. No foul there. And it's going back to Rhode Island.
Well, the technical paid off. They got a call. Langevin is a guy who's only going to play about 20 minutes a game. Watch his feet. That is not a travel. However, I am not wearing a striped shirt, so what I say doesn't matter.
Fats Russell, number 2, and Keeney Blues come on for Rhode Island.
5 of 6 from 3 in his last game.
Off the steal, Bullock. Diallo, nice finish with the left hand.
I thought he was going to be in trouble. He went up on the right side and went all the way across to the left. Nice play.
4 now for Diallo. Rams are 1 for 7 from the field. What's kept them within 6? They're 5 of 6 from the line.
Well, they're taking the ball to the basket. Terrell needs to get warmed up.
Shot clock at 7. Entry to Langevin, takes on 2 defenders. Well defended that time. Nate Watson, the freshman. Ashton Langford, another freshman. Contact, and we're going the other way. Offensive.
You wonder if the game's too big for Ashton Langford right now. He came into the game and he's made 2 or 3 mistakes immediately. Maybe trying to do too much in place of Cartwright. He's a little out of control right here. Smashes right into the defense. No way that that's not going to be called. We're referring to him as Ashton Langford, and we should say that's his last name.
Mackay, the freshman from Worcester, Massachusetts. I will see him on the court with Cartwright quite a bit, with Cartwright playing off the ball. Up and under Robinson. And Providence boxing out well for the rebound. Bullock steps into a long 3. And he stepped into it. He's called for traveling.
That's one of the new points of emphasis. Officials are going to call that when you take that extra little hop into your shot. That in the past was not called at all.
4 turnovers for Providence, only 1 for URI.
Defensive Providence has been stellar so far in the game. They're staying between their man and the basket. They're rebounding. Very few second attempts on the part of Rhode Island so far.
That's Russell. Got it back.
First offensive rebound.
Rams are 1 for 10. Terrell trying to create. Langevin collects. Oh, short.
Langevin, it looks like he and Berry are going to split the game, and they're going with 4 guards and a post.
Providence winners of 5 in a row. Survived a gutty effort from Ryder the other night at the dunk.
88-84 in that one. That was a surprising score.
Ball knocked away. That defends Langevin. Deflection. And now 5 to shoot.
No reset.
Diallo down low. Knocked away. And the shot clock expires. Providence, Bob, has turned it over now 5 times compared to once for the Rams.
Not surprising the visiting team turns the ball over more early in the game. I think Cartwright needs to get back in the game right now for Ed Cooley. They need to calm down a little bit. They're playing a little bit out of control right now at the offensive end.
Jalen Lindsey, number 21 in black, in for the Friars. Here's Terrell. Tough shot, he banks it in.
He's got game, baby. Very powerful play.
Ends a scoring drought of nearly 4 minutes. 8 and change gone by in Kingston. 13-9 Providence. Oh, reaching in, Fats Russell. And the freshman picks up the foul.
Bullock is a scorer, but he does everything. And right here, the overplay leads to this bucket at this end. 13-9 visitors.
Here in Kingston, Providence with the early lead on Rhode Island. Let's go inside the Friars huddle with head coach Ed Cooley.
Horns to 5 wide with our quickness right here. Horns to 5 wide, get right into it. Hey, run simple to get the ball in. He's the point. He's the point. You're the 2, you're the 3 on the other side. Horns to 5 wide. Remember, we're forcing them left. Forcing them left, forcing them right. Horns to 5 wide.
Well, he's talking about the offensive set that they're going to use called 5 white. And Lindsey asked him a question. He wasn't sure whether he was supposed to be on the right-hand side or the left-hand side. Very calm demeanor in there. At the end of the huddle, he talked about defensive rebounding, and they've been doing a great job right there. The defense has been very good. Rhode Island only 2 of 12 from the field so far. I like the fact that Cartwright is back in the game. They were going a little bit rudderless there for a little while.
Bob, Cartwright 1 assist shy of 500 for his career.
Not many guys have done that.
Trying to score it this time. Oh, knocked away from Watson, trying to slam it down. Russell lobs it up. Langevin denied. Malik White with the block shot. And a push.
I love the fact that they let that go. A lot of times that's an automatic whistle. Not so here. Great hustle right here. Looks like a layup. And out of the blue, he comes flying into the game. Malik White just got in a few minutes ago. Terrific, terrific defensive play by White. Langevin, we talked, had a sports hernia. Danny told us that he's probably only going to be able to play him about 20 minutes in this game. He and Berry are going to share the post.
Lindsey tries it and buries it from 3. First 3 for either side so far. It's for Jalen Lindsey.
60% from downtown so far for Lindsey. 16 out of 26.
All but 5 of his shots in the field this season have come from 3. And the other way, they'll get Ashton Langford, the freshman, with his 2nd foul in the first 9 minutes.
So he'll find a seat on the bench because of that.
Cartwright now with 500 assists with the dime there on that 3 from Lindsey. 7th player in school history. Vincent Council for Providence, the most in school history.
Sometimes when you have a lot of good scorers around you, you get a lot of assists. Vincent Council had some great players that he played with.
They've had some big assist men in recent years. Chris Dunn, Bryce Cotton, Council, Cartwright. Rams have 3 to shoot. Down pull up for 3. Look at the battle for the board. Langevin rips it down and gets the bounce. That was Stanford Robinson with the bucket.
Undersized for being on the boards, only 6'4". Intensity level needs to come up at this end for Rhode Island. Too many easy baskets so far in the game.
White trying to split the double, intercepted. No one to stop Fats Russell, and the Rams are back with a three. Rams feasting off 6 Providence turnovers. Drew Edwards, number 25, in for Providence. Watson wants it. Battle of big men against Berry. The freshman makes it look easy.
Let me tell you something about this guy. He is a big-time player. We watched him, and his lateral quickness for a guy 6'10" and 260 is really remarkable.
He is a load.
Freshman.
Garrett, the senior, sets up Berry. Nice answer by the Rams.
Watson got caught too deep in the paint.
4 points for Andre Berry. Rhode Island picking things up after they were 1 of 9 to start. It's Robinson with the steal. And the finish by the trailer Russell.
Cooley's not going to be happy with that. Nobody hustled back, and the missed layup gotten by Rhode Island.
Cartwright trying to answer. White will take it and hits a big three to just try and quiet down the crowd.
Oh my goodness.
Bob, buckle up. 8:40 left in this first half. We have a long way to go.
Look at this hedge by Watson.
Down the sophomore. Behind Berry, and a turnover. Just a second for Rhode Island compared to 7 so far for Providence.
Rhode Island trying to deny the first pass from Cartwright to whomever.
Edwards had the step and took one. Traveling there against Garrett. Providence averaging, Bob, less than 14 turnovers over their first 7 games. Ed Cooley's team with 8 so far.
Last year, Rhode Island was one of the better teams in the Atlantic 10. Late in the season, they were only averaging 10.6 turnovers per game. They force a lot more, so they're +5 in that area right now in terms of forced turnovers.
Rams won 9 straight before losing to Oregon in the second round of the Big Dance. Big reason why was the return of Garrett then. He's pulled the Rams now within 1. (21-20) Providence. Russell almost. Cartwright kept it in bounds.
Russell has been annoying, to say the least. He is really in Cartwright's grill.
Little guy from Philly. 5 to shoot. Diallo inside. Watson, big finish. Nice setup by Alfred Diallo.
Beautiful pass. He could have thrown it high, but he went with the bounce pass instead. Nice hands by Nate also. Watch
Big
this hedge. He is 30 feet away. Has to recover to the block.
Russell looking for Berry. Off his hand. Diallo, nice feed. Watson never had it. Russell off the bounce.
Terrific steal by Doughton on that play. It was a 3-on-2. He stopped it.
There's another. Russell down against White. And Doughton has put Rhode Island again within a point. Timeout, Ed Cooley. Cohen, Bob Wenzel with you here at the Ryan Center. Tickets extremely hard to come by. And Rhode Island's defense very hard for Providence so far. Rams have forced 10 turnovers. They have scored 13 points off them.
I am so happy I didn't have to pay the $250 for this seat that those seats are going for. It's been what we expected, right? Very intense. The reason Rhode Island fell behind is because their intensity level was poor on defense. Since Fats came into the game, he is bothering Cartwright a lot. And the passes, the entry passes, have really been very, very difficult. Both coaches talking to their teams right now. They have to keep the intensity level up on both sides. That's what we're going to see for the rest of the game.
Bullock and Cartwright both on the floor for Providence. In fact, the only reserve is White.
I'd keep White in also. He made a three. He had a great block on a come from behind. Look at that denial. Look how far out they're catching the basketball. Nothing is close to the basket because of their pressure.
Nice defense there by Langevin.
This is interesting because Langevin and Berry are in the game at the same time. This is the first time they've had a 4 and 5 guy in the game.
Foul taken here by Diallo.
Those two guys right there in your screen, Langevin and Berry, they are going to patrol the paint and take away the inside game, and we saw it on the last play. When one of them is not in the game, a smaller player has to guard the power forward on Providence's team, and that's a disadvantage.
Diallo exits with his second foul. So
Terrell
on comes Isaiah Jackson.
Terrell has been invisible so far offensively for Rhode Island, and they are in the game, so that's a good sign for them because he will not be invisible for long. Garrett,
nice through, and Garrett drains it. Rhode Island with the lead. It's their second lead of the game, and it matches their only lead up by 1.
Turnovers are the story. 10 of them for Ed Cooley's group. The denial is working. They're catching the ball very far out, can't make entry passes, and nobody's putting the ball on the ground and taking it to the basket for the Friars right now.
Jackson trying to get it back. Fouls Terrell. Ed Cooley's been given a technical foul. Danny Hurley was teed up earlier. And Danny's just thrilled it's not him.
Terrell pokes the ball away. Cooley thought that was a foul. And then he says, there's no way that my guy fouled Terrell on a loose ball. He says, that's unbelievable. Well, so far the score is even. The technical fouls are pretty even.
You talk about a guy who has lived this rivalry, Ed Cooley. He's from Providence Central High School, longtime assistant to Al Skinner, even up until 1997, when Rhode Island and Providence both went to the big dance. Last year was the first time both schools went to the NCAA tournament. You can see why it's so charged up now in 2017. Couple of technical free throws for Jared Terrell, and Rhodey's up by 3. Terrell now with 5 points. Bobby's 1 of 5 from the field, but Rhode Island's defense has been the big difference so far.
No doubt about it. They're forcing turnovers and getting runouts. He hasn't had to be an offensive weapon. Other guys can score in transition easily. Good free throw shooter also. 81% on the year. Career, he's outstanding. There's his numbers this season. Very, very good.
Some have likened him to an SEC safety. So for those who aren't watching the SEC championship game, you get a taste of it watching number 32 in light blue. 11-2 run for Rhode Island. Knocked away, last touch by Berry. It's going to stay with the Friars.
Friars are very tentative right now offensively, and it's apparent that the defensive intensity of Danny Hurley's team has gotten to them. They are not playing with decisiveness on offensive right now.
Now before the inbounds, foul here against Langevin for Rhode Island. Well, Bob, there have been some close games in this building. You go back 2 years ago, tip-in for Providence at the buzzer. 2 years before that, Rhode Island had a chance to win down the stretch. The crowd knows that. It's been a big difference so far for the Rams. Young against Berry. Double comes and a foul. Berry's arms were not straight up.
Well, he fouled him twice. He fouled him with his body, and then he fouled him on the lower part as well. Berry is 6'8", 275, so he takes up some space. If he's allowed to put his body on the offensive player, you can't jump when somebody that big is leaning against you.
That was Berry's first foul, 6th on Rhode Island. Let's go back to the battle of the big men again.
A lot of big guys. He catches the ball close in. He bumped him twice, and he put his arms up for emphasis, but the foul was down low. Good news for Rhodey. He shoots 2 bricks.
On the other side, Rams are 9 of 10 from the foul line, 8 of their last 12 from the field. Friars led this game early by 7.
Garrett and Fats Russell have been the difference right here. The 2 smallest guys on the floor for Rhode Island have caused all of the defensive intensity to rise and for the turnovers to happen. They have pressured the ball beautifully.
Many have called this group of guards for Rhode Island the 6-pack. Big guards outside of Garrett and Russell. And wait till Matthews comes back. Could be a couple of more games for Rhodey. 7 to shoot. Terrell in the attack. Robinson 3 to shoot. Reach and foul. Isaiah Jackson before the shot, but with Rhode Island in the bonus, it'll be a 1-and-1 trip coming up for Stanford Robinson.
Jackson does not want to come out. Ed Cooley is thinking about whether he should bring him or not. There is E.C. Matthews. First team all-conference in the Atlantic 10. A fabulous, fabulous career while he's been here at Rhode Island. A couple of years ago, he scored 27 points in a game, missed a shot late, and they lost. He is a superb player. And we talked to him at the shoot-around, and he said he thought he would be back for the College of Charleston game. They play Alabama next, then the College of Charleston. Terrific player, 6'4", wing guy, can do everything.
Bob, after he missed that shot here against Providence a couple of years ago, he apologized to Dan Hurley. He was sorry that he let this fan base and his team down. So for him not to be in right now has to be gnawing at him, but it also showed Dan Hurley then what kind of freshman he had. 10-0 run for Rhode Island. Nice save there, but steps on Drew Edwards, and the turnovers piling up. That's number 12 for Providence.
Credit Fats Russell again. I mean, he is pressuring the ball. They cannot make an entry pass. Now, how do you combat that if you're Providence? You got to get by Fats Russell, take him low, post him up, make somebody else guard the ball out front, because he has been, and I say this in a nice way, an absolute nuisance to the opposition right here.
Nice look, Robinson. Berry almost went in on the deflection. Rams with their largest lead right now. They sag off Bullock. Over Doughton. It's just not there for Providence. Rebound, Fats Russell.
Bullock had an open 3 from deep. Declined it and went in further, but he got closer to the defense. That's why that shot looks so bad. He would have been better off launching from where he was in the first place.
Bob, Berry exits, was nicked up on that last defensive stand. He is heading out, so Ryan Preston has come on. Meanwhile, that has got to be driving Ed Cooley crazy.
If you have nearly as many turnovers in the first half as you do in 40 minutes, that's not a good thing.
So that's a 17 Rams points. Add more to it. Russell trains a 3.
Can you say Atlantic 10 all freshmen? He's doing it both ends. He made 5 of 6 threes in his last game.
Another turnover. Fats Russell slams it down. .15-0 run for Rhode Island. And away from the ball. Preston tangled up with Young. And this will go against Rhode Island's Ryan Preston, but Bob Wenzel, Rhode Island down 7 early. The freshman and the Rams on fire at the Ryan Center.
Fats Russell is thin and quick and has a big heart.
On AT&T at the half.
Well, turnovers have been the story, but it's not happening by themselves. It's the defense of Rhode Island. Stepping in the passing lanes lead to breakaway layups. Watch this denial by Stanford Robinson. He leads this team in steals, but I'll tell you what, if Fats gets any more playing time, he's going to lead them in steals as well. They are everywhere. It's like playing against 7 guys so far in this game. What are the points off turnovers? You want to know? 19-2 in favor of the home team. Ed Cooley is getting a headache with this.
He told us this game coaches itself. You just have to manage it. Right now, the Rams defensively have seized control of this game. Now Watson, the big fella, freshman, coming back on for Providence, will take the spot of Khalif Young.
Well, Providence, what they have to do in the last 3 minutes here is they got to get a couple of baskets, and what they're doing is they're trying to start their offense with passes when all those passes are denied. They need to start their offense with the dribble and clear out and let Cartwright go and be quick and try to create something on his own.
Garrett turns the corner. Fats Russell, another one from 3. 12 points for the freshman. Largest lead for Rhode Island. After a 1 of 11 start, Rams have hit 11 of their last 15. Another turnover. Russell can't get there in time.
The penetration by Garrett leads to the jumper in the left corner by Russell. And this is nothing but net. Perfect rotation on the ball. It's interesting to see what the smallest player on the floor can have in terms of impact. Look at that. They can't even get the ball from one guy to the other without him getting his hands on the ball.
And this could be a matchup of guards, 2 freshmen that we watched down the road here in the state of Rhode Island. Russell for the Rams and Ashton Langford on the other side for the Friars. 2 really big pickups for their respective coaches. Cartwright's been quiet. Ashton Langford denied. It's Preston with the block. 5 to shoot. Bullock no, but he will go to the line for the visitors.
Ashton Langford thinks he's got something here, but very good shot block. Bullock in the right place at the right time, gets to go to the free throw line. He has been absent from your commentary for quite a while, and he, of course, is their best scorer. 6'8", 225. Those are his numbers on the season.
Bullock, Bob, he put his name in the NBA draft last April, but decided to return for his senior year as a 5th-year guy, 23 years old. Final 2 minutes here in the first half. Robinson will take it, and the rebound tracked down by Malik Ashton Langford. Berry, who went off earlier for Rhode Island, is back on the floor, set to come on next opportunity. Ashton Langford splits the double. A lot of contact, blocking foul as Robinson went for the steal. Instead, he's whistled.
This is a slick move behind the back. He gets him into the lane, but there is traffic there. Watch this behind the back. That's beautiful. But there's plenty of traffic and help. Difference between high school and college basketball right there, right?
He's learning fast. And Mekhi Ashton Langford, this is a great class. Ranked number 15 by Rivals. The best for Ed Cooley at Providence. And this young man, number 1 in black, is the centerpiece. Berry back in. He went out to the locker room moments ago.
Well, apparently he got good treatment because he's running fine up the court right now. He's in there against Nate Mason.
Rams led by 13 moments ago. Dowdy on a kick out. Terrell steps into one. Watson there for the rebound. So Providence chance to get a little closer here with 1:13 to go before halftime.
Well, they got it to 10. They'd like to get it under 10, give them some confidence going into the locker room. Right there, Russell finally makes a mistake. He's been absolutely fabulous in the first half. And he makes a foul right here and gives some opportunity for easy points. Right there, a little conversation with Garrett, who is much more senior than Russell.
Second foul on the freshman. Both teams in the double bonus. So a couple of free throws coming up for Ashton Langford.
Looks like he might have some blood.
So we'll get a stoppage here with 1:07 to go in this first half. High energy atmosphere here at the Ryan Center, and a Rhode Island team that's lost the last 7 meetings to Providence. Bob, last win was in December of 2009 for the Rams.
Well, Danny Hurley has one big win this year, and I think it's the biggest win in the Atlantic 10. They beat number 20 Seton Hall, his alma mater, and that's the biggest win of anybody in the Atlantic 10 so far this year. VCU has had opportunities. VCU played Virginia, they played Michigan, Marquette, they beat Cal. We'll be back in a little bit. Danny Hurley's team working wonders right now.
Sports Network, we've talked so much about E.C. Matthews out for Rhode Island. He is not the only missing piece. Providence missing their senior Emmett Holt. Bob, he's out for the season.
Yes, and he's a big man, 6'10". He's their anchor, averaged 9 points and 7 rebounds, something like that last season. He's also a transfer from Indiana, like Stanford Robinson is for Rhode Island. And of course, Matthews will be back, and he'll be back soon. Holt will not be back for the entire year. So Nate Mason, there is Mr. Matthews right there. Big time player. So Nate Mason is going to have to take the place of Emmett Holt. He and Khalif are going to have to do the job in the paint. But so far, this game has nothing to do with big men. It has everything to do with the small men pressuring the basketball.
And the big momentum guy for Rhode Island has been Fats Russell. What a performance in this opening half. 12 points, he's 5 of 7 from the field. Final minute here in the first half. Rams have led by as many as 13. Dowden finds Berry. Nice feed with the double coming.
A lot of guards in the game, all of whom can pass. Berry just has to hang around the basket and catch it and lay it in.
He has 6. Cartwright quiet so far. Ashton Langford to his fellow freshman. Watson, nice move through the lane.
I'm telling you, this guy is really talented.
Bobby's 3 for 3. He has scored 6 points. He's made it look easy every time.
He is strong and athletic. They might think about trying to get him the ball a little more.
Shot clock off. 4 seconds. Russell wants it. The freshman up and under with English at the buzzer. And after one, Rhode Island leads by 11, trying to snap the drought against Providence. "22 of the last 30 points to end the half. Russell with 14 off the bench for Dan Hurley's team.
He has been the catalyst, there's no doubt about that.
42-31. Call your friends. Rhode Island leads it at the break. Stay tuned for AT&T at the half here on CBS Sports Network. About to start the second half in the Battle of the Ocean State. Rhode Island trying to snap a 7-game losing streak to Providence, up 42-31. Ed Cohen back with Bob Wenzel. First true road game this season for the Friars. They were greeted by suffocating defense from the Rhode Island Rams.
No doubt about that, and the star is born. Fats Russell. Listen to these stats on this guy in the last 2 games. Last 2 games, he played a full game in this half. He is 13 for 19 from the field and 7 for 9 from three-point range. He doesn't start. I would play him 40 minutes a game if I had him on my team, let me tell you. Early on, Providence was doing a good job. They got the ball to where they wanted to get it, and they made nice plays going to the basket. They shot 55% in the first half, so when they got shots, they did a good job. Right here, a little defense by the Friars early led to some breakaway layups. But the tide turned big time for the Rhode Island Rams because of the defensive intensity of their guards. This type of play happened all half. 19 points off turnovers in the first half. Stanford Robinson, Garrett, Fats Russell makes this play at the buzzer. Of course, why not? Thrilling first half for the home team.
Let's take a look at the first half stats. They're brought to you by Humana. Ed Cooley, he's not going to like this number 14. It's not Valentine's Day. It's the amount of turnovers in this first half. There was no love offensively for the Friars here in Kingston.
No doubt about it. And of course, those 19 points off turnovers, they had 14 turnovers. They averaged 13 a game, so obviously that's a big deal. And the thing for Rhode Island's side, they get 8 steals a game. I mean, they average 9 steals per game. They had 8 in the first half alone. So things very, very good for the home team. I am expecting Providence, because they're good, they're talented, they have a good coach, it's an emotional game. I expect them to come back and make this game close in the first 10 minutes of the game.
Kyron Cartwright, who had 19 against Rhode Island last year up in Providence, scoreless in the first half. He only took 2 shots in 18 minutes. Rams took 30 shots, Friars only 20 because of all the turnovers.
Exactly.
Second half underway. Terrell trying to get going as well. And weak side, it's Lindsay with the rebound.
Terrell, 1 of 6 in the game, and his team is up 11.
Cartwright still scoreless. Look at Garrett. Everybody on the deck. We'll get a tie-up. Jump ball will give it to the Providence Friars.
You have to admire what's going on that play right there. You talk about guys wanting to win, both sides, diving on the floor, hustling after the basketball. Take a look at this action right here. Ball's on the ground. 2 guys are on the ground. That looked like a block from a left tackle right there. Diving on the floor to get it. Gotta love it.
It is Saturday in your mind, not on the gridiron, but here in Kingston.
Cartwright needs to do something. He can't just be a guy who delivers the ball.
Diallo, a couple of moves on Terrell, popped out. Last touched by Rhode Island. Fresh 30 here for the Friars.
And I'm glad that you know that it's a 30-second shot clock. You know, you're doing the Knicks for radio, so there's a 24-second clock, I'm told, in that league, right?
At least I didn't say 35. Then we'd all be in a lot of trouble. That's really turning back the clock. No pun intended. Great to be with you, Ed Cohen, Bob Wenzel, our entire CBS Sports Network crew. Battle of the Ocean State, one of the rivalry highlights of the non-conference schedule across the country. Providence led by as many as 7 in the first half.
The result of this game is important for a lot of reasons, but if you're thinking both of these teams last year went to the NCAA tournament, URI was the champion of the Atlantic 10, so they got an automatic. Providence got an at-large. Both of them are planning for at-larges. So a win in this game will do wonders to help them in their resume, of course, when this is looked at the end of the year.
Jarvis Garrett. Last year, the Rams had to win the A-10 tournament to punch their ticket. Garrett with the 3. Young trying to answer. That's a big body, but Berry up to the task. Here's Terrell. Strong drive. Young knocked it loose. Bullock has scored 10. Knocked away. The steal for Terrell. Robinson looking Garrett's way. And we're going the other way. Loose ball foul, and it's on Andre Berry. That's his second.
Coach Hurley says, calm down. Game's getting a little ragged right now. It's the job of the coach to communicate to the point guard in most instances to change the pace of the game.
It's one of the few accomplishments for Dan Hurley at Rhode Island. 0-5 against Providence coming in.
I wonder if Rhode Island works on slapping the ball as a drill, because they are great at it.
Diallo not letting anyone slow him down that time. He has 6. Again, no E.C. Matthews for Rhode Island.
No Emmett Holt for PC, and they won't have him the rest of the year. Matthews will be back shortly.
Reset for the Rams, 9 to shoot. Dowden, oh, he carried the basketball, turnover.
You don't
number 7 on Rhode Island.
You don't see that call very often, and guys do it about 100 times a game. It's impossible to guard a guy who's super quick, who's allowed to get his hand either on the side or underneath the basketball.
How about Dowden, Bob? That was just his 7th turnover this entire season.
Yeah, 27 assists also coming into the game. Very intelligent player. Denial on the perimeter still. Entry passes are very hard.
And the foul reaching in, it's on Jared Terrell. It's only his first, and that's a matchup we knew would be worth watching. Terrell's 6'3", but he plays bigger. Diallo's 6'7", but he's very mobile. They say Bullock, Dowden on the deck. And the foul for shoving him will go against Jalen Lindsey of Providence.
We got a lot of conversations going on between the Providence players right now. That is a bad pass. The ball's on the ground, and a little muscle activity below from Jalen Lindsey gets him the foul. We talked earlier about the fact that Providence fouls a lot. Coming into this game, opponents shot 151 free throws. They only shot 97. So in some games, some of these plays may have been called fouls, but right now, their aggression is a gigantic positive.
2-point range, Jarvis Garrett picking up his confidence, the senior, now with 10.
They got a bunch of guards who are contributing. Fats Russell on the bench. He was a star in the first half.
47-35 Rhode Island. Have led by as many as 13. Diallo answers on the other end. 1-2 for Alpha Diallo, who has scored 8 so far tonight.
Bullock had 8 in the first half, and Diallo, they look like the only guys who are actually looking comfortable at the offensive end.
Garrett, nice look. Very easy finish set up by Garrett. Look out. Khalif Young running the floor, almost blocked by Robinson. And you talk about strength, Khalif Young.
The reason he was able to run out is the point guard, Garrett, lost his shoe on the drive and was picking up his shoe. Point guards are responsible for defensive balance.
Dowden at the point. Terrell knocked away, trying to get it back. In comes Bullock, and we go back to the arrow. It's going to stay with Rhode Island, but only 9 to shoot.
When you drive to the lane and you come to a jump stop, sometimes you lose your shoe. Check it out. Into the lane, and there is the shoe right there. Everyone will have shoes when we come back.
Here at the Ryan Center, the Rams leading by 10 over the Flyers. Let's revisit our AT&T Fast Analysis.
Well, the 2 stars of the team for Providence College are playing way below their norm. Cartwright hasn't scored. He's 0 for 4. Bullock, of course, is doing okay. He's got 10 points right now, actually. Terrell is only 1 for 8. Terrell, I'm sorry, is only 1 for 8. Berry doing okay in the post. So far, what this tells us is that the substitute players and the guys who don't play normally major roles are playing major roles in this game. And we talked before the game about how the emotions rise to the top in a game like this. And when that happens, some good and bad can come from it. And so far, we've seen the good in the person of Fats Russell and Garrett.
Oh, turnover. Diallo converts it. Bob, Alpha Diallo now with 10 points. He's 5 of 7 from the floor right now for Providence, and they're back with an 8.
And he only averages 10 a game. He's been the catalyst. Zone defense, first time. Good idea.
Let's see how Garrett and the Rams attack it. That'll work. Jarvis Garrett buries another 3. That's his 3rd of the game. He has scored 13 tonight. Each time the Friars have drawn a little closer, Rhode Island's had the answer. Karen Cartwright, deflection, it's coming out of bounds, and it's going back to Rhode Island.
Nowhere to go with that pass by Cartwright, and he knows it. Russell's still on the bench. Right here, everybody's hands get on this ball, but eventually it goes off of Bullock.
Officially 17 Providence turnover. Nice feed, but it's knocked away. Active hands, Ashton Langford, the freshman. 1 against 3. And back comes Robinson, big rebound. Secondary break. And now a reset for the Rams.
Garrett is supremely confident. He's a senior. He's played a lot in big games.
9 to shoot. Garrett still with the ball, knocked away, and the Flyers force another steal. Diallo gives it right back. He palmed the ball, as they'd say in the Keeney and Gavitt days.
Right here, lifts the ball up, got out of his control.
Terrell out, but the major applause for the guy who's coming in, Fats Russell, 13 minutes, 14 points off the bench in the first half. First appearance since halftime.
Significantly, Garrett and Russell together in the game at the same time.
He's a freshman. We want Fats' chance. As the ball's knocked out, refs confer it's going to stay with the Rams.
Well, he's going to get some votes for the Atlantic 10 Freshman of the Week this week, I can tell you that, off this performance. And his last game also against Brown, where he was 7 of 11 from the field. But his defense has been spectacular.
Nate Watson, freshman for Providence, in for Khalif Young, with the Friars down 11.
They've been rotating that position, and I think they will continue since Emmett Holt will not play this year.
On the drive, Russell is fouled going to the rim, and it's on Alpha Diallo, sophomore for Providence. That's his 3rd.
Too quick to guard. Nice pump fake. Doesn't drag his foot right here. Gets bumped along the baseline. This is a beautiful building. I believe somewhere in the neighborhood of 7,800 and change is the capacity, and all those seats are filled.
About 10,000 when it's said and done will claim they were here. Always for the great games. 5 to shoot for the Rams. Russell gets free. Barry saves. Out of bounds, though. It will go back to Providence.
There's a look at the arena. The Ryan Center. Beautiful spot.
You have one school from the Atlantic 10, the state school, rural part of the state. You have the other school in the Big East, the smaller private Catholic school. There are a lot of differences in what makes these teams, these fans, these schools great rivals. Ashton Langford, the big get in this freshman class for Providence, sinks it. Now with 5.
today was a day where a similar game was played in Cincinnati, where the University of Cincinnati and Xavier, they fit the exact paradigm that you just talked about.
And they got the game back on campus, which was huge. 10 to shoot for Rhode Island. The 9-point lead. Langevin trying to free up Doughton. Sophomore hits the line drive jumper. Look out, Watson can run the floor and gets right to the rim and scores.
Interestingly enough, with all these guards in the game, there have been 2 runouts by Providence where the guards were not back protecting their goal.
Watson, number 0 in black, 8 points. He's 4 of 4 for the Friars. And Ashton Langford tangled up with Russell in that matchup of freshman guards. Picks up the foul. Ed Cooley and Dan Hurley. It's a 9-point game.
Be there being behind by this much.
They're very comfortable. We need ball pressure and team defense. And you got to pressure them. Late in a shot clock, there's nowhere to go. It's got to be a pull-up. It's got to be a heavily contested shot.
Late in the shot clock, on a pull-up, it has to be a heavily contested shot. Doughton just made a shot late in the shot clock where it was not heavily contested at all. So obviously he's talking about that. Later on, he went in to talk a little bit about what they need to be doing on offense. But he needs to get more contestations on all shots for them to get back in this game.
No wonder if you're a Friar, you don't want to be in his line of fire. Last game against Ryderbaum, that was a tough grind against an upstart team out of the MAC. They held on at home, but they allowed 53 second-half points. That happens here now. No chance.
Yeah, it's going to be porous.
Doughton sees an opening, cruises in for 2.
Way too easy.
8 points for Jeff Doughton, the sophomore, known for his poise and IQ. Diallo is looking backdoor, nothing doing for Bullock. Malik Ashton Langford spins and fouled. Robinson pursues for the block, picks up the personal.
Take a look at Jeff Doughton on this move. Head fake one way, ball fake the other way, and that takes Diallo right out of the game. Very intelligent player, and a very intelligent play by Jeff right there.
A-10 all-rookie team last year. Ashton Langford off the mark. Last foul is the 3rd on Stanford Robinson.
Danny Hurley told us at practice, I asked him about E.C. Matthews and what kind of effect that has on his team. And he was talking about how sometimes an injury can help your depth because other guys have to play and step up, obviously. And that is what's happening right here. Matthews is their best player, and they are playing their best game of the year. I mean, they lost to Nevada in a close game. They lost to Virginia, but they beat Seton Hall, number 20, without him. And now they're developing their depth. So this game, if it continues to go the way it's going right here, and it may not, because there's a lot of time left, is an attention getter, a big-time attention getter.
Unwanted hallmark recent years, the injuries this Rams team has had to endure. Garrett was injured last year. How about that move? Reversal, Terrell. Offensive rebound. Langevin freed it up, and Russell fouled in front of the Rams bench. Jalen Lindsey picks it up.
Unselfish play, no free throws. The ball will be taken out of bounds underneath. The visual signal with the hand in front of the face right now indicates what their out-of-bounds play will be. Some coaches have visual signals for them. Some have numbers for the out-of-bounds plays.
Lindsey exits with 3 fouls. Cartwright back in. Garrett, handoff. Langevin denied. Great help there by Bullock. Cartwright up ahead. Watson. It came off, but he was fouled trying to slam it down by Langevin.
The official indicates that he was hit in the face on this play. He's too far underneath, but he does get whacked in the face after. So he'll get his opportunity at the free throw line. Check this out now. Ball is blocked, but his follow-through hits Watson right in the face.
Third foul on Cyril Langevin. And Watson has scored 9. He's hit every shot he's taken from the field. When it goes into him, a lot of times it's automatic.
He produces. No full court pressure. The problem, if you get behind against Rhode Island, they got so many guards in the game that all can handle. If you pressure, it makes it worse. Nice extra pass.
Terrell almost was slammed down, but Langevin had to hesitate to avoid goaltending. Cartwright knifes through. Diallo wants it for 3, and he buries it, and the Flyers are back within 5.
Comeback City.
Timeout, Dan Hurley. Rams have led by as many as 13, and Providence is knocking on the door.
The push. Cartwright penetration. Bottom. They're back.
Rhode Island fans have been waiting a long time to get back at the Flyers, but there have been some close calls along the way. Providence has won the last 7 meetings. Last time here at the Ryan Center, 2015, Chris Dunn and the Flyers back-and-forth game featured 12 lead changes. Jared Terrell, big shot for Rhode Island, but they'll never forget this name. Ben Bentel at the buzzer. Flyers 74-72, and the streak continues. The Rams trying to snap it again tonight.
Well, Danny Hurley called the timeout that he needed because at 11:51, he was up 9, and a minute later, he was only up 5. So good offense by Providence after the last timeout by Cooley, where we talked about contested shots. He's talked about that, but at the end of that, he talked about the offense and taking open jumpers. They need to take jump shots because it is crowded on the drives, and they're not getting in there.
Providence 8 of 13 to start this half. Rhode Island 6 of 14. Midway point here in the second. Dowden doesn't get the bounce after 3 attempts off the rim. Out of bounds, will go back to Providence.
Nice defense in the lane right there by Providence College on the drive. For Providence, if you're guarding the ball, you just have to stay between your man and the basket. Don't look for screens. If you look for a screen, a good offensive player will go the other way. Tough spot for freshman Ashton Langford here.
Cartwright still scoreless. Averaging over 12 a game. Hesitation, short. Diallo, big rebound, no foul. Patch Russell challenging Bullock, up and under with a little more English from the little guy. Lead is 7. Russell now with 16, first point since the break. Bullock can't answer. Dowden ripped it away, and Nate Watson with the foul. That's his first. And the referees step in right away in what's become a physical rivalry game.
Action under the basket. He's coming into your living room. How about that? English off the board. He did the same thing at the end of the first half.
Great player at Imhotep Charter in Philadelphia, a school that's been open 19 years. All-time leader in scoring, assists, and steals in that short period.
Well, that's not surprising, watching him here.
What a get to come to New England. Hedge comes, keeps the dribble alive. Russell, same move, and Barry couldn't take the rebound. Ashton Langford the other way. Kick. Diallo drives. Great body control, and the Flyers again are back within 5. And Ed Cooley, Bob, quick timeout here with 8:32 left. 2 timeouts left for Providence. Likewise for Rhode Island.
Rhode Island up 58-53, but Ed Cooley designed a terrific play for Diallo on the last run. Diallo is at the top of the key right here. He is the guy who's going to make this play on the ball fake and the drive to the basket. He avoids the shot block by using his left hand. He has been the most skillful player in the game for Providence.
Ed Cooley told us, big confidence booster, the double-double Wednesday against Rider. And look at Diallo now, 15 points, one of 3 Friars in double figures.
Little weave action right here. Expect the guards to drive.
It's Garrett against Cartwright.
Nice cutoff by Cartwright.
Air ball, Fats Russell. Robinson tried to throw it off Diallo, and it stayed in.
Best defensive possession of the half for the Friars.
Langford stepped through, no. Berry knocked it off his teammate Garrett, out of bounds, and a fresh shot clock for Providence when we come back to Kingston in the home stretch in the Ocean State. Here in Kingston, Rhode Island, Rams leading the Friars 58-53 with under 8 to play. But Bob, Providence's defense picking up.
Good defensive position by all of these players. And on the drive, Cartwright stays with his man and forces a bad outside shot, low percentage. And Providence plays its best defense of the half on that particular possession. What's happening with Providence is they're going up on guys and they're getting beat, okay? So you have to stay between your man and the basket to force other players to get involved in the defensive rotation. And if they do that, they can get back in this game.
Ed Cooley telling us that this Providence team last in the Big East defensively, trying to find their identity on this end of the floor without Emmett Holtz. You look at a guy like Diallo tonight. Terrell for Rhode Island's only 1 of 10. Big matchup, and his length is creating some disruption.
Yeah, I think so, individual defense, but they got to be a team defensive team, and they have to stop penetration because they don't have great shot blocking. When you have a guy back there, you can gamble more, okay? And they don't have the quickness like Rhode Island with these little guys. So right here, nice play defensively by Rhode Island on the double team.
Turnover number 19, but wait. John Gaffney's coming over. They discussed, and the call will stay with Rhode Island getting the ball back.
Double team is beautiful. Mason gets caught with the ball too low, and he clearly pushes it out of bounds. Now, if you're guarding the ball, don't gamble and get beat.
Ball was deflected. It's going to stay here with Rhode Island.
No reset. 16 seconds.
Four out for Rhode Island. Berry the lone big. Robinson hangs, can't finish. Ashton Langford with the rebound.
Opportunity knocking right here. Extremely important possession.
Cartwright still scoreless for Providence. 0 of 5 from the field. Ashton Langford sets up Diallo. Way off the mark, and Berry's there for the rebound. 7 and change to go. 58-53, Rhode Island. Berry spin, beautifully done to get around the freshman. 10 now for Andre Berry, 3rd Rhode Island Ram in double figures. Ashton Langford hesitates. What a step through to get around Robinson and score.
Doughton made the first mistake. He went behind to try to get a poke out and didn't get it. Berry made a great play on the last possession. He used his body on Mason beautifully.
Berry, number 34 in light blue. He is 6'8", 275. Sets a screen. 8 to shoot. Slip to Berry, and he drains it. Give Jared Terrell the assist.
How about that? The big man stepping up. Watson couldn't get out in time.
Oh, great answer. Ashton Langford, and the foul. He'll have a chance at 3.
Freshman now playing much, much better in the second half. He loves going to his right. between two men, uses his left arm to fend off Berry. Berry's complaining that it was an offensive foul, but to no avail.
The senior doesn't get the call. The freshman can't connect at the line. That was the third foul on Andre Berry.
Well, Ashton Langford is doing what they should have been doing more over the first half, is taking the dribble drive, because if you can't have entry passes off the pass, you got to enter with the dribble. Watch Berry inside. Keep your eye on number 34 in the low post. He's positioning himself.
Robinson, not there. Ashton Langford with another rebound. Makai Ashton Langford, 6'3". Here's in the Bullock screen. And Dowden got in there. And Jeff Dowden is whistled. That's only his first foul.
Boughton is a ball hawk. Last time he tried to go behind and he got beat. Right here, he tries to slap at the ball and gets a foul. Russell comes in for Berry, which is a very odd substitution. Look at the size of Rhode Island right now. They are very, very small.
Biggest guy out there is Robinson
at 6'4". Tallest guy on the floor. All guards right now. 5 guards.
10 to shoot. Diallo a couple of inches on Dowden. Confidence with that matchup going to the rim. It's a 3-point game. And Russell's hounded and fouled by Ashton Langford.
Providence just did one brilliant thing and one not so brilliant thing. They recognized there were 5 guards. So Diallo immediately goes into the post and takes Dowden, a point guard, to the rack. But immediately after, a foul by the freshman point guard, Ashton Langford, but there's no free throws, so fortunate there. That's his 4th foul.
Cartwright went over to Ashton Langford moments ago, said, you need to be really careful.
Now they're going to spread the floor. Look, 5 guys outside the 3-point line. Nobody in the post. This is all one-on-one stuff.
7 to shoot. Russell leans in, draws the foul, shooting the 3 as Diallo is whistled. And that's the 4th foul on Alpha Diallo.
Watch the ball fake. Diallo leaves his feet. That's a tough call for the official, because they've been reminded that offensive players who jump into a defensive player, the foul's on the offense. Unfortunate for Diallo, he did not go up straight. He went up at an angle, so the defense is going to get called for that. Had Diallo gone up straight and Fats jumped into him, that would have been an offensive foul on that 3.
Well, the freshman gets the benefit of it. Hasn't been at the line much this year, Bob. No attempts tonight. 6 of 7 coming in. And now 2 more attempts for Fats Russell.
Take a look right here. Diallo leaves his feet and goes forward. Because he goes forward, when the contact is made, it's a foul on him. Had he gone up straight and Fats went forward, would have been a different outcome, huh?
Now in the NBA, nice point of education is to be in an upward motion before you are fouled. That's a great move right there. Diallo was in trouble from the start. And 3 free throws the result. Russell had 20 in the last game. He has 19 tonight as they rise at the Ryan Center. Diallo wanted it. Bullock didn't get it there in time. Ashton Langford hits the bottom of the backboard, but a foul. It's on Jared Terrell, number 2.
Terrell's the 2nd biggest guy on the floor. He's in pretty good position, but there is a slap on the arm. Well, there's a difference. 3 free throws made at one end, and the front end missed at this end. The first of 2 missed at this end. Little things, little things.
0 for 2. 4:20 left. Rhode Island's missed just one free throw. They lead by 6.
5 guys on the perimeter, pick and pop. Clear out, let me take it off the dribble.
Dowden blows by Bullock. Robinson. And now Russell, never hit the rim. 7 to shoot. Bullock on the deck. Ball loose, and out comes Ashton Langford. Looking out Lindsey's way for 3. Rainmaker's good, and Providence down 3 with under 4 to play in Kingston.
Will history repeat? Will Providence win again for the 8th time in a row? Will Rhode Island hold on?
Russell, no, not that time.
Should be easier to score on drives. No rim protection in the game for Rhode Island.
Cartwright still scoreless tonight. The spin, lost his footing, but a foul.
Getting tighter, getting tighter. Lindsey's in the left corner. Find him. PC's happy.
Game here between the Rams and the Friars, Bob Wenzel.
Well, we talked about three-point shooting, 4 for 8 from those 3 guys. Good percentage, not enough though. Owning the paint, not so much, about even in the paint. Friars should have been a little bit more dominant. Terrell has had not a good game for him, but the team effort on the boards has been pretty good. The big story, of course, in the game is the turnover situation. Danny Hurley went with 5 guards, and during that timeout, he changed his mind. Berry is back in the game, and then they've got their perimeter guys, kind of a normal lineup. The 5-guard logic on his part was spread out, take PC off the dribble, and they would get it. It didn't work well. Not that it wasn't a good idea, it just didn't work. So Berry is back in the game to patrol the paint for them.
Short for Cartwright, who came in shooting 85% from the line. He's still scoreless, and Providence is 10 of 20 from the foul line.
0 for 3 in their last 2 possessions.
Inside of 3 minutes. Terrell on the drive. No one's there to pick him up. 9 for Terrell, just his 2nd made basket, and the lead is 5.
In a big moment, their top player came through.
Ashton Langford driving with 4 fouls. Got it to go after he was stopped. What strength there for the freshman. Silly, he has 12. 3-point game again. Robinson looking for Garrett, the floor general. 10 to shoot. Terrell saying, Berry, go to the rim. Garrett, the spin, throws it up and in! Off the window for Jarvis Garrett. Dan Hurley called for time before it was inbounded with 2:03 remaining.
The senior making people on campus happy. At one end, the circus play by Ashton Langford. Very difficult, high on the scale, 10 on the degree of difficulty scale. At the other end, it's Garrett, spin move, bank it, money.
Has to feel so good for this young man, the senior. Last year in the heart of conference play, had to sit with colitis. And look at this crowd. It is a sellout, the 12th in Ryan Center history. Officially over 7,600. Big resale prices around these parts, and now they're hoping, at least the Rams fans, that they can hold on, leading by 5 with 2:03 to go. A lot of ball left.
The officials are checking out the clock right here. There's nothing about Garrett's shot. There's nothing about the score, I don't think. They're talking about the game clock and the shot clock.
Let's reset it for you. Rhode Island leading 69-64, have led by as many as 13. Arrow lies in the Flyers' favor. Both teams are in the bonus with 2:04 to go.
2 timeouts for the Friars, only 1 for the Rams.
7 straight wins in the series for Providence. Ed Cooley is 6-0 against Rhode Island. Last win for Rhode Island came in this building December of 2009. Under 2 minutes left.
Trying to go inside. Trying to get Bullock a shot.
Diallo left his feet. Knocked it out of bounds. Terrell with the stop.
Terrell came up big. He's got to keep his mouth closed right here.
John Gaffney stood in the way. Terrell was in the face of Diallo.
Nice hands right here. Nowhere to go.
Looked like it was off Diallo's right hand. They'll take a look inside the final 2 minutes with 1:48 to go.
Diallo got in the air and had no place to go with the pass. He thought that Bullock was going to be open in the paint, but he wasn't. So he had nothing to do. Best thing to do is go up looking to shoot. See Bullock on the right-hand side, number 5? Didn't have it. Certainly looks like it was off his right hand. Look at the defense right here. Watch the hand. In good position. He challenges with his right hand. Terrell does, gets his hand on the ball. Unfortunately for Providence, Diallo could have gotten that ball before it went out of bounds.
Call stands. It will be Rhode Island basketball. The turnovers just crippling. 14 in the first half. Better since the break, but still, season average over the first 7 games was less than 14 a game.
They did a better job in the second half, there's no doubt about that. That looked like a walk.
In front of the Flyers bench, they thought it was.
Ed Cooley very demonstrative in his belief in that direction.
You're the only head coach in the building who hasn't received a technical tonight. Dan Hurley and Ed Cooley each with 1.
No point in fouling now.
8 to shoot. Garrett on a kick. Fats Russell. Terrell, big offensive rebound, and they can reset with a fresh 30.
They should foul here.
Oh, but that's Ashton Langford's 5th with 1:10 to go. They let 11 seconds come off the clock. He's done, down by 5.
Only a freshman. He'll play in this game several more times. He'll remember this game, the goods and the not so goods. He did a great job getting them back in the game with his scoring and his drives to the basket in the second half of this game.
One of the top freshmen in the Big East. He originally committed to UConn. Providence got him at the last moment. And his night is done. Terrell earns himself another, and a chance to make this a 3-possession game. Still a lot of time left, 1:10 to go.
How about Terrell? Does virtually nothing the entire game, way below his standards offensively. And then he makes a drive to the basket, and when it was to 3, then he makes offensive rebounds, defensive stops.
Terrell with 11, he's 7 of 8 from the line. Final minute here in Kingston. Diallo and the Friars trying to come back, but this is going the other way. Offensive foul.
The drive, perfect position by Stanford Robinson. Help side defense. Outside of the restricted arc.
second Friar to foul out. Diallo now joins Ashton Langford. 57.1 seconds to go. And Rhode Island leading by 7.
Diallo carried the offense for a good part of the game when they were in a deep hole. Played a pretty good game.
No one on this Rhode Island roster has ever recorded a win against Providence. In fact, you have to look at the last 7 classes. Ed Cooley 6-0 against the Rams. 5 wins against Dan Hurley. Tom Planek just came in with the steal. White no. Contact, loose ball foul, and it's on Terrell.
How about Planek making a play immediately when he gets an opportunity? Got his hand on the ball, created the turnover. Watch his hand, right hand, got it, delivers, and then gets knocked down. Tough position to be in, just getting the game, and you got to go to the free throw line with, I would say, a difficult backdrop.
No rim. Foul in the backcourt. Stops the clock with 51 seconds to go. Bob, we talked about Rhode Island don't get to the line that much as a team, 16 of 17, while Providence has missed more than they've made from the line.
Yeah, when you're below 50%, that's a formula for disaster, especially in a game like this. This is a very difficult situation for him. He does not hit rim on this. Actually, this should have been an inbound instead of a foul. When they get him back, they're going to be even better. E.C. Matthews, first team, all conference. Keeping his emotions in check right now, huh?
You know, he's liking this. Robinson off the mark. He has scored 7 with 12 rebounds. Big game on the glass when Rhode Island went small. Cartwright, they let him go, and he scores for the first time tonight, Bob. He was 0 for 5, missed that front end at the line. A guy who burned the Rams last year for 19 points with 8 assists.
Averages 12, 7 assists per game, clearly below his norm. Did not have one of his better games.
Next foul by Rhode Island will put Providence in the double bonus. 44.1 seconds to go. Rhode Island leading 72-66. Now, if you're Providence, can't afford to take too much time off the clock here after that made basket by Kyron Cartwright.
It was a great game, and it was a great comeback by Providence. I mean, they expended a great deal of energy to get back into the game. They made a lot of good plays, but unfortunately for them, every time they got it to 3, they missed free throws. And, you know, one situation was Russell was fouled on a three-point shot at one end. He made all 3. Ball came down. Ashton Langford was fouled on a drive. He misses 2. So you talk about a 5-point swing right there. So a little difficult situation. He can move on the inbounds because this is after a basket.
Down looking to get it in. The star of the night, Russell, back to Dowden. They try to foul, and 6 seconds come off the clock before Dowden is finally stopped. 37.5 to go.
Free throws have been an asset. 17 out of 19 for Rhode Island. 10 out of 21 for Providence.
Dowden has scored 8 tonight.
5 guards in the game again for that coach. Danny Hurley, a great guard himself. Fantastic career at Seton Hall. Getting it done here. NCAA tournament last year.
Lead is 8. Bullock airballs the 3. And Russell is fouled. 26.5 to go. And get ready for a Saturday night party in Kingston. Bob, we were at shoot-around today. Dan Hurley running his group through a number of scenarios. There was a quiet, I think you'd say, focus for this team. They shot around until very close to game time, and here they are now on the verge of their first win against Providence since December 5th of 2009, when they won a shootout 86-82 here at the Ryan Center.
Big East on this side, Atlantic 10 on that side, within 30 miles or 32 miles of one another. Great intensity by both coaches, both doing a good job, both in the NCAA tournament last year. Rhode Island picked first in the Atlantic 10 preseason, Providence fourth in the 10-team Big East.
Timeout, Ed Cooley after the bucket. It's a 7-point game, 15.7 to go. If Danny Hurley's team holds on, you're talking about a 2-0 record against Seton Hall and Providence out of the Big East without your man, E.C. Matthews, and the face of this Rhode Island team.
Yeah, and that's going to look good when they start looking at teams' resumes for at-large bids, if they are in that position. After this game, they go to Alabama, and there's a player on Alabama's team named Colin Sexton, who had 40 points in a game recently, who's one of the best guards in the country as a freshman. Fats Russell, I'll tell you what, he's got to be one of the best guards in the Atlantic 10 as a freshman. 20 points, two games in a row, last game and this game. This, of course, much, much more important than the win against Brown, even though Brown is also in Rhode Island. He played a spectacular game in the first half. Look at his concentration when Hurley's talking to him. Big smiles all around for the guys in that huddle.
A resume-building opportunity for Rhode Island coming in. They've answered the bell. They were down 7 early, couldn't buy a basket, but it was their defense, Bob, forcing 14 first-half turnovers. And here in the game, Providence has coughed it up 21 times. And you know Ed Cooley, a mix of young guys and veterans. This will be something he uses going forward to teach his group before the rigors of the Big East.
Atlantic 10 tournament, March 7th to the 11th in Washington, D.C. Semifinals will be right here on this air on Saturday the 10th at 1 and 3:30, and CBS will have the final on Sunday.
Calling off the Dogs. They rise at the Ryan Center. And for the first time since 2009, it's Rhode Island over Providence in the Ocean State Battle.
A game with great intensity as expected. Historical for